A lot of furniture has the same blue color. A lot of times I don't get his jokes. A poster from Paris hangs the wrong way round. Above the bed hangs a David Beckham poster. Above the cupboard hangs a huge painted movie poster. Above the desk hangs a drawing from fishes made by his girlfriend. Above the telephone there are 17 old papers with telephone numbers. Across the street his parents have a restaurant. After a while I don't know what to talk about anymore. After a while I get quite bored talking about food. After a while I'm not really listening anymore to the things he tells me. After dinner he says, "Shit, forgot to check in on Facebook." After 5 minutes talking he says, "You are smart, I can tell you." After living 2 weeks in a place he feels at home. After 1 year living without kitchen he starts to miss it. After they bullied him in high school he got depressed. After 2 years living in Taiwan he doesn't have Taiwanese friends. Again I sleep on a hard mattress. Again the same cheap towels from IKEA. All the decoration is from the landlord. All the old people are doing Tai Chi this early. Almost every house has a garage before the front door. Around his 30 he was living together with his mother and sister. As a child she needed to think a lot about death. As a child we both had a lot of worries. At 7 a.m. her mother calls to hear how it is going. At 10 p.m. I cycle alone and need to pass some abandoned houses with barking dogs. Because he won the lottery, he could come to Taiwan. Because of the park nearby, he moved to this apartment. Before, American people sent money to help them. Before he goes to bed, he cleans the living room perfectly. Before he was obsessed by sex, but now he only wants to hug. Before his mother died, he had a job in marketing and was writing a PhD. Before I meet him, he asks me if I want to join him to his salsa class. Before I meet him, he says he was dating a red-haired girl before. Before I meet him, he sends me the trailer from the movie Tokyo Fiancé. Before my visit, she asked a cleaning lady to clean the whole house. Before she was making ceramic cups. Before sleeping, they play video games. Before they married, they never lived together. Between 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. there is a security guard in front of their house. Between 3 a.m. and 6 a.m. he is working on his computer. Centrally hangs a clock with famous English buildings. Centrally there is her broken television. Constantly he is touching his mother, although he is 15 years old. Constantly she is striking with her hand through her long hair. During 1 year he lived in a cage bed in Hong Kong. During our walk he touches me frequently. During the night a gecko makes clicking sounds. During the summer she sleeps in a smaller room. During the summer the whole family sleeps together. During the week they both work on their laptops on the kitchen table. During 2 hours he talks about his travels in Asia. Even the shoes are structured on 2 rows. Even their cat is eating vegetarian. Even young children go to bed at the same time as their parents. Every evening she burns money and prays for her sick father. Every front door has Chinese signs wishing good luck. Every object has a specific place in his living room. Every wall is painted with graffiti or markers. Every day he sits 1 hour in lotus position. Everyone forbids me to place my bag on the floor. Everyone has a name card. Everyone has a red square sign with good luck wishes. Everyone sits on small plastic stools around the coffee table. Everyone who lives in this neighborhood works in the factories. Everything in his house is working on solar power. Everywhere I get blue plastic slippers. Everywhere I see the brand Tatung. Everywhere in the living room there are hanging towels. For a long time he was searching a wife on the internet. For a moment I think his drugs are hard drugs. For breakfast we eat a McDonald's hamburger. For breakfast we eat steamed bread with jam and butter. For breakfast we have some egg and radish cake. For every ceiling lamp there is a different button. For me it would have been impossible to sleep together with my parents when I was 15. For more than a year she had a boyfriend, but she couldn't tell this to her parents. For the second time they give me a brand new towel. From a Spanish guy I can lend a towel. From her window she has a view on the lake. He asks me if I'm from Europe, from Romania. He asks me if I like peeing when I have sex. He asks me why all the women want to be independent these days. He broke up with his girlfriend 4 years ago and he doesn't have one-night stands. He chews on the chicken bones and spits them out again. He collects wine bottle openers in the form of different figures. He covers his pillows with a towel. He doesn't want to have a smartphone. He explains me how China is dealing in debt obligations. He has a robot vacuum cleaner. He has almost no possessions, but he has everything to go camping. He has blue eyes, red hair, and a trained body. He has 7 dispensers with shampoo. He has the most fancy fan I saw until now. He has the same white garbage can as I have at home. He has 13 sorts of perfume. He is a hare in a running game. He is collecting free tissues and uses it as toilet paper. He is collecting $1 coins. He is hitting on me and says, "You know, your intelligence is so attractive." He is making his own kombucha, honey wine, and kefir. He keeps giving me tea. He lives in a space from 4 by 4 meter. He looks so nervous and in a hurry. He makes tomato juice, corn juice, and plum juice. He met her on the street in Bogota and joined her to the disco. He needed to choose between his wife or his business partner. He owns the famous juicer from Philip Stark. He painted his walls dark so you cannot see the cracks in his wall. He places his laptop on 2 milk cans so the warm air can disappear. He refuses to go to a beach where you need to pay for a drink. He says, "Whoa, I forgot my phone at home and only think about it now." He says Chinese women are strange. He says he is lazy. He says his mother and aunt are hot chicks. He says we can talk well because I'm a Taurus. He shows me all the meals he made during the last months. He shows me the book his boyfriend wrote about American criminals. He sits with a straight back in his couch. He talks about his great-grandparents, aunts, granduncles, their children and grandchildren. He talks about his love for red-haired girls when we lay in his bed. He wants to organize fake weddings to earn money from the gifts your family gives you. He works for the ceramics company Villeroy Boch and his wife for IKEA. He yells at his children that they need to stop or he will be angry. Her brother has only one friend. Her brother is disabled and lays on the couch the whole day. Her father and grandfather are members from the Chinese party. Her father fixes drinking machines. Her father fled from China to Hong Kong by swimming in the sea. Her father is a full-time pigeon trainer. Her father is small and doesn't have a neck. Her father only comes to Taiwan when he has a meeting for his company. Her 15-year-old brother sleeps next to his parents. Her grandfather died after many years in a Chinese prison. Her grandmother cannot write her own name. Her grandmother had no choice in marrying him. Her grandmother is collecting everything but in a very structured way. Her grandmother repeats she has a lot of friends. Her grandmother was 18 years old when she married her husband from 38 years old. Her mother cooks meals for school children. Her mother doesn't look me in the eyes. Her mother-in-law prepares her breakfast every morning. Her mother married when she was 20 and was pregnant immediately. Her mother plays piano, does felting, paints, and writes calligraphy. Her mother wears a striped red and white pants. Her parents were farmers in Canada and she has 4 sisters. Her sister has short hair and a girlfriend. Her sister is quiet and constantly looking at me. Her sister works during the night. Her teeth are rotten. Her uncle is wearing a baseball pants. Her uncle makes phones that can pay your bill in the future. Her uncle watches a cartoon movie without playing the sound. Her youngest son invents a new language when he tries talking to me. His apartment is illegal and on a rooftop. His apartment is so well structured. His bedroom is his office. His boyfriend is retired and 25 years older than him. His cupboard has safety knobs for children. His daughter had a serious accident with a scooter. His desk is filled with comic books. His ex-wife had loads of debt. His favorite books are about Buddhism and gods. His girlfriend wants him to prove every day that he loves her. His grandmother has a vegetable garden on the rooftop. His head is long and small. His kitchen just flooded with water from the sink. His kitchen table is a plastic coffee table with a drawing from the alphabet. His mother comes from a very poor family that survived because of charity. His mother shows me around, but she cannot speak English. His parents don't want to rent out their empty house. His roommate is a fortune teller on the internet. His shirts are rolled in military way in his luggage. His sister-in-law only wanted to marry his brother when he would learn to drink coffee. His sister married with her husband before she was 18. His smell reminds me of something, but I cannot say what. His toilet seat is very dirty. His youngest brother is disabled and his oldest is a prick. I am so bored to talk about food again. I am sweating the whole night on the leather couch. I am touched and almost need to cry when he tells me this. I ask her if she was happy with her husband, but she doesn't react. I cannot finish my breakfast because I am not used to eat pork and fish in the morning. I cycle to his place, so when I arrive I am sweaty and have a red head. I don't know why, but she shows me all the touristic places in Tokyo. I don't think he is really listening to me when I say something. I don't understand how you can forget how you met your boyfriend. I don't see a toothbrush or toothpaste. I eat my first real McDonald's hamburger in my life. I fall asleep and they talk further next to me. I feel lonely between him and his friends. I feel embarrassed because I cannot finish my breakfast. I have my own bathroom in the room. I have the feeling they are impressed by me. I hear his father snoring. I need to explain him how the map from the city is working. I need to place the incense in the bowl with my left hand. I never saw a skipping rope without rope before. I say je t'aime instead of je l'aime. I see a lot of hats. I sleep in his kitchen. I sleep in his room and have phone calls with him, but I won't meet him. I sleep on a mat made from small pieces bamboo. I sleep on 3 mattresses next to each other. I think he wants to cry when he tells me about his money problems. I think his eyes are this small because of drugs. I think his parents are very rich. I think his parents sleep separated. I thought we would sleep with 3 in the double bed. I try to communicate with her parents when she is taking a shower. I use 2 pillows to make a mattress. I wear one of his short pants. If I want, I can stay another night. If I want, I can wash my clothes in their washing machine. In advance, he didn't tell me it was a hostel. In advance, she wants to chat with me about unimportant things. In fact, the pants are very old, he is just cleaning them very well. In Taiwan, first floor means in fact ground floor. In the bar, he asks me about 5 times if I'm alright. In the beginning, I am shy because I think he is very handsome. In the corner, there are 3 plants in beer bottles. In the corner, there is a collection Coca-Cola cans. In the corner, there is an empty aquarium. In the kitchen hangs a note that says how you can eat healthy. In the living room, there are 6 huge teddy bears. In the living room, there are about 15 cardboard boxes. In the living room, there is a mini bar. In the living room, they have teddy bears from Miffy, Winnie the Pooh, 7 dwarfs, a bear, and a dog with long hair. In the middle of our conversation, he gets up and starts repairing a plastic shoe rack. In the morning, his mother will wake him to say hello. In the morning, I hear her busy in the kitchen. In the morning, I hear some loud pounding. In the morning, she sends me a message to say she made pancakes downstairs. In the morning, we eat an American hamburger. In the morning, we need to get up at 5:30. It is hard to talk on an equal level because he is so talkative. It is impossible to make him laugh. It is my first time on a scooter and I don't know where to hold my hands. It is the first time I hear birds singing in the morning. It is the first time I sit in an electric car. It is the first time in my life I see a drying machine in the kitchen. It takes him about 3 hours to come to the end of his story. Later he tells me he is collecting money for orphans, but I don't believe him. Later it becomes clear she was only 4 days in Vietnam. Maybe she doesn't want to marry him. Maybe she is a lesbian, but she doesn't know it herself yet. Maybe this is the first house without an altar. Maybe this is the first living room with plants. More and more families want a door to close their parking spot. More than 1 hour he is busy preparing himself in his bathroom. Most of the time we are quiet. Next to his bed there are 5 blue teddy bears. Next to his bed there is a bowl filled with Lucky Charms for his company. Next to the bed there is a leak in the ceiling. Next to the front door hangs an illustration showing the human anatomy. Next to the television stands a rice cooker. Next to the television stands a stuffed penguin. Now she is working for the gloves company from her family. On her wedding pictures, she looks completely different. On his desk are 2 green, funny, fat soldiers. On my bed, there are 2 hair dryers. On television, there is a fashion show with 5-year-old girls. On television, there is an awful show about 20-year-old people who do stupid games. On the couch lays an old teddy bear in the form of a dumpling. On the table lay 15 pieces fruit. On the top floor there is a Japanese room. On their front door hangs a cartoon from the mayor from Kaohsiung. 1 baby lives with them from Sunday to Friday. Our hands are slightly touching when we lay next to each other. Probably he is a native Taiwanese. Probably the people under the trees are living there. Probably they have never cleaned the light button. Several times he excuses himself because of his dirty toilet and shower. Several times his parents moved when he was young. She doesn't drink alcohol, but downstairs there is a lot of alcohol. She doesn't use the beauty products from the company she is working for. She gives me some ceramics as a present. She had a boyfriend for 7 days. She has a name card that says she is a student. She has a red wooden floor. She has different sorts of fitness games. She has 4 wine red bags in her room. She has so many skincare products. She is complaining about his compulsive hoarding. She is different than the rest of her family. She is flirting with someone, but she doesn't want skin contact. She is his 3rd wife. She is making her own radio station. She is 19 years younger than him. She is not interested in having a boyfriend. She is playing piano for me. She is still afraid from a Japanese doll, although she is 22 years old. She is still sad about her ex-boyfriend. She is studying now already for an exam in February 2016. She is 28 and was only once outside Taiwan for 6 days. She is wearing a t-shirt from basketball player Curry. She is wearing short pants, striped socks and slippers. She likes to watch Korean television shows. She looks like a boy. She met her boyfriend by a chat application. She never lived longer than 1 year in a place. She only has a few friends. She raised her 5 children alone because her husband died young. She really wants to show me a picture from her crazy mother-in-law. She says her eyes look the same as her dog's eyes. She says she needs to clean the kitchen or her mother will kill her. She shows me her books and CDs from her favorite band Fix. She shows me her collection earrings. She shows me her graduation photo albums. She shows me her small wedding album. I think it is very big. She shows me the book from Eckhart Tolle. She starts missing a table and chairs. She tells about Chinese power in Hong Kong. She tells me Belgium is number 2 in the world in soccer at this moment. She tells she has a secret brother in China. She threw away all her pictures, even from her mother who passed away. She uses a drilling machine to make the pancake dough. She wants to escape from her family business. She wants to travel to Europe to make some photographs. She was hating her mother and lived with her father. She worked for families in Dubai and Hong Kong. Since her mother told her a scary story, she is washing her hands obsessively much. Since 1 month he is living here and doesn't want to go back to his girlfriend. Since then he is really afraid from ghosts. 6 fishes stand as decoration on the cupboard. 6 posters in frames are leaning against the wall. Sometimes he confuses me because he jumps from one topic to another. Sometimes he is sleeping the whole day. Suddenly he asks me, and would we have sex? Suddenly I feel myself so small and alone in this world. Suddenly I feel myself very stupid. Suddenly the air conditioning makes strange noises. Temporarily, she lives in the house from her uncle. That day I feel sad because he didn't respond me. That night my ex-boyfriend's baby is born and I couldn't sleep well. That pillow is almost 3 meters long. The air conditioning is old and noisy. The air conditioning smells like old people. The altar takes the half of the living room. The apartment is only a kitchen and a bedroom. The bathroom has again a plastic door and plastic doorknob. The bathroom has 2 doors. The bathroom is so dirty. The bed looks like a normal double bed but has no mattress. The big massage chair is used a lot. The blanket was once blue with white flowers. The cat really fits the floor. The children keep on sleeping in the car when we leave. The computer and his laptop are blowing the whole night. The computer is right next to the altar. The corners from the hanging frame are still protected with some cardboard. The couch is made from wooden pallets. The couch is not long enough, so my feet are hanging the whole night. The cupboard is filled with empty bottles Belgian beer. The cupboards in the kitchen are cyan painted. The cupboards in the kitchen are self-made. The day after he got married, his wife says she wants to divorce him. The dog barks to every scooter passing by. The dog drinks coffee. The doorbell has the shape of a small house. The drums are his coffee table. The first thing her father needed to buy when he arrived in Hong Kong was an alarm clock. The first time he wanted to wake me up, I was still sleeping as a baby, he says. The fishing shop is special and her father is quite famous for it. The floor is full of her hairs. The furniture forms one long line against the wall. The girls are giggling when I ask how old his boyfriend is. The god in the temple has a cigarette in his mouth. The hallway on every floor is huge. The higher part in the room is useless. The house has 5 bathrooms and 6 toilets. The house is part of a community with 24 other families. The houses opposite the temple have a mirror above the front door. The jokes from her grandmother are always about money. The kitchen has tiles everywhere. The kitchen looks like an office. The lamps on the ceiling hang askew. The light button is covered with a drawing from a cat. The living room is filled with toys. The man in the lobby doesn't understand me and sends me back outside. The man comes too close to me when he shows me something on his smartphone. The shower is in the middle of the bathroom. The table is filled with tiny metal soldiers to paint. The tables in the living room are self-made. The taxi driver doesn't find the address. The television is constantly playing Good to Escape the World whenever you want. The 3 cousins giggle when they talk to Chris. The toilet and bed sheets are full of dirty spots. The towel in the bathroom is so small. The walls are molded. The water in the kitchen is not working. The white Mercedes from his uncle is his favorite car. The whole evening a slideshow with pictures from his travels is playing. The whole evening her uncle is playing games on his smartphone. The whole evening I mix up words and sentences. The whole family sleeps together. The whole time he is playing games. The wine is too old and tastes like port. Their kitchen is behind the fishing shop. Their kitchen buttons are replaced by seashells. Their postcards are structured following colors. Their shop is open 7 days a week from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. Their shower doesn't have a shower hose. There are more than 15 sorts of tape. There are 3 teddy bears in the living room. There are 2 front doors. There hangs a French and a Taiwanese flag in his living room. There hangs an old badminton racket on the wall. There is no daylight in his apartment. They add olives and cheese to the Taiwanese dinner. They always have dinner in front of the television. They are proud of their basilicum project. They collect all the cardboard boxes from stuff they bought. They don't have a television and the living room is filled with books. They exercise their Chinese writing. They fell in love when they were playing a couple in a theater piece. They have a certificate from the Chinese political party. They have a proper elevator in their house. They have a small temple for dead family members. They have burned bamboo to remove bad smell. They have 2 huge couches next to each other. They learn me that Marsipelami is a Belgian cartoon. They let me eat stinky tofu. They made a doll from her father to pray. They must have more than 1,000 books. They offer me water in an old bottle from Ricard. They say I am very, very brave. They share a big inner yard with other families. They show me their experimental vegetable garden. They still have some Christmas decoration in their living room. They swam to Hong Kong with 3 friends, but when they arrived, one of them was drowned. They tell me about the book The Art of War from Sun Tzu. They use the half of a can to put their pants in. They use their kitchen table once a year. They want me to interpret the horrible painting above the seat. They want to make the perfect sandwich. This big house is only their office. This is the first time I make love with an Asian man. This room from grandmother smells the same as the room from another grandmother. 3 times he says that his sisters are an architect and a lawyer. To go in the bathroom, you need to wear plastic pink slippers. Tomorrow she will meet her boyfriend secretly. Tomorrow she will start working at her new job. 20 years ago, this was all countryside. 2 girls in the other room are nervous when they speak to me. 2 seats above each other are forming a table. 2 years after the accident, she still cannot walk. Under his shower stands a beer bottle. Until a month ago, he lived in the apartment under this one. Until now, she didn't have a boyfriend, but she wants one. We are quiet and read in our novels. We are sitting with 13 people in this living room. We dance salsa in his living room. We eat snails catched by her uncle. We go to McDonald's for first aid help after our scooter accident. We have the same size of shoes, so I wear his sandals. We lay next to each other and he asks me if I like cuddling. We play a game, but in the end I still don't understand it. We play darts and I'm losing dramatically. We read children's books about dinosaurs. We search for handsome teachers in her graduation photo album. We share a beer. We sleep in a tent in the living room. We survive an adventurous walk at night with barking dogs. We talk about 2 sorts of people on Tinder. We use Google Translate to talk with each other. We watch the stars on the rooftop. When he sees his grandmother, he always touches her face. When he shows me his collection of knives, I'm a little afraid. When he was 10 years old, he saw how his mother replaced the table with the help of ghosts. When he works on his computer, he sits very low. When her mother wants holidays, she doesn't get paid for it. When her mother was young, she needed to sleep next to the pigs. When his father was young, he was caught by the Chinese army to fight for them. When I arrive, he immediately sends me to my room. When I arrive, he tries to fix the water problem in his kitchen. When I arrive, I am completely wet. When I ask them about their dates, they become shy. When I flush the toilet, there comes some water out on the floor. When I give her 2 kisses, she reacts, "Wow, these were the first kisses in my life." When I want to eat the chewing gum on MRT, she reacts quite shocked. When she arrives, she immediately goes praying upstairs. When she laughs, she holds her hand before her mouth. When she talks about her father, she calls him uncle. When she was living in Spain, some people were bullying her. When we arrive in the middle of the night, he knocks his mother's bedroom door. When we give a hug to say goodnight, we start kissing. Where do people put their dry clothes when they are taking a shower? Without asking, he prepares coffee for me. Without knowing me, the man in the lobby gives me the keys. Would parents still have sex in Taiwan? Would she be 2 meters tall? Would this be the 1000th time I see this IKEA table? You are a real Taiwanese when you have a stripe on your arm. You can see the traces from the previous lamp on the ceiling. You don't use the bathtub, but you shower in the middle of the bathroom.